It's time to come clean. I'm an imposter. I call myself a woodworker, but my mind disagrees and tells me that I'm not good enough. I've got imposter syndrome. I want to put a stop to that, so in this video I'm going to acknowledge it, shine a light on it, and then I'll be able to see it for the absolute silliness that it actually is. So here's the story of me building my most challenging project so far, a hanging tool cabinet. The opening chapter of this roller coaster ride of a story, well, it's all about frustration and self-doubt. I'm not capable, I don't have the skills, it's gonna look bad. Every time I start a new project, I get all excited and keen to get stuck in. Then I start the build process and I start to get really worried and the doubt sets in that I'm not gonna be able to do it. It starts off super fun. I take my measurements, figure out roughly what I'm after. Then I get to work designing in SketchUp. I print my plans, it all looks achievable. So I head out to the shop. And that's when the pressure hits me, and all I can think about is how bad I'm probably going to stuff the build up, how I'm a crappy woodworker, and quite frankly, what's the point in trying? Surely I'm not the only person whose mind plays tricks on them like this? I go down that path on many projects, especially the ones that I'm really super keen on building. And the reason I'm so keen on this project is because this is my entrance into the Spring Shop Storage Challenge, a YouTube challenge being hosted by me. So it took a little bit of time, but I've got all my parts cut for the tool cabinet. Rough cut, that is, rough cut. The reason it took so long is because I got this wood for free, and when I picked it up, it was warped and full of knots and cracks and all that sort of stuff, so I had to work around a lot of that. But for free, I'm really not going to complain. It's worth the extra work. Like many woodworkers, I've built up a good collection of tools over the years, and they may not be high quality, they may not be the best brand that you can buy, but I like them, they work for me. However, my storage for them has always been kind of crappy. And I'm really looking forward to stepping up and having a much nicer storage area for my tools. So if I'm so keen on building this tool cabinet, why haven't I done it yet? It's pretty simple, to be honest. I don't want to stuff it up.
And to be perfectly honest,
I might have specifically chosen the shop storage theme to help me push past those feelings of inadequacy and actually get on with this build. So this part of the story, I guess, is me trying. So these are fresh off the table saw. I haven't tested them out just yet. Let's see what happens. That's pretty bloody good, yeah. This chapter of the story is one that I've read over and over again because I've been making these box joints for a long time, and Woodfather's jig is the best way of making them. I'd say it's a humble brag, but I'm not humble about that part of it. The main cabinet body gets the top and bottom rabbited into the sides. I nibbled that away on the table saw. So that worked out surprisingly well. I'm quite happy with how it came out, to be honest. The big box is a fraction larger than the two smaller boxes put together, which is great because those doors are going to have to swing together and have sort of a 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter gap. And that's sort of what I'm on track for at the moment. Next thing I'm going to do is keep working on the bigger box. I need to cut some dados all the way around so that I can slide a nice big fat piece of plywood into it. That's going to keep the whole box nice and square, nice and secure, and it's what I'm going to screw my tool mounts to. Okay, so now by this stage, all my parts are cut the length, cut the size, and I've started sanding everything. And I was thinking, oh gee, maybe I'll just start gluing it up. Then I realized that I haven't actually put in a slot across here, which is gonna be for a stretcher that goes across the middle, and then in between here and here, I'm gonna have some little boxes, because when you have one of these cabinets, you wanna have a few little boxes down the bottom. Just a few days ago, Uncle Knacker's DIY for Knuckleheads, he put out a video talking about his brand new chop saw, and he was showing off all these different features that he had. Now, I don't have the same model as him, but I was really jealous of a couple of the things that he's got in there. So then I came out here and had a look at my chop saw, which I've had for the last 1.5 years or so, and I realized that I've got the same features and I never actually knew about it. I'm an idiot. But basically, I've got this depth stop here so that I can do trenching or dados or grooves and that sort of thing on the chop saw, which will be a lot easier than on the table saws. All I had to do was read the manual. So for the tool cabinet, I'm going to need 2 doors on the front, and I've already put one of them halfway together. This is 16mm ply. This is what I'm going to screw my tool holders into. So that's one door done. I've got to do the other one. However, I can't glue it up just yet because my wood is just so featurey. Sanded up to 240, it was time to glue the door frame up. I was fairly confident here. Box joints help keep everything aligned, and it was easy enough to clamp it square. However, I do need to put a plywood back into this frame as well. The way I'm doing it, I've got a big fat bit in the router here with the bearing. It's just going to run around and leave a little channel for me to drop the plywood sheet into. Now I'm going to cut this in 2 passes because it's 16mm ply and I can't cut that in 1 pass with the router, but that's not a problem. Let's get into it. And with that channel routed to the proper depth, all I need to do is cut my plywood, just like that. Okay, so this is where it starts to get a little hairy again. It's time to glue up the main cabinet. I started with the bottom section first to make things a little easier on myself. I let that sit for about 5 minutes, and while I was trying to square it up, I realised that I just couldn't get it square. So then I realised that I had the top piece on back to front, as you do, and because of that I couldn't get it into square. So I quickly took it all apart, flipped it back around, clamped it down, and now I've gone through with my little baby square and some bigger squares, and everything's nice and square. Alright, this guy's dried up, so no more mucking around. I think it's time to try and assemble the main part of the cabinet. Alright, this part of the story, this is called fear. I'll glue it up, it'll be out of square, I won't be able to hang it, I won't be able to have the doors open and close properly, and it'll be a disaster for the next 10 years. Or, it'll all work. This is scary. Let's go. All right, so far so good. Nope, I take that back. This one needs to come over slightly or my slot for the ply is not going to work. Let's get a bigger one. Clamp, clamp, clamp. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Get in. It reached the bottom. Woo! Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm feeling good about the glue up right now, but I haven't looked at the front for a while. Let's just get the top on and then we'll just squeeze it into submission. So it's gone really well so far. It's all nice and square. I've measured it all up, make sure I'm happy with it. What I forgot to do though, I don't have a clamp going up and down to squash the top and the bottom into each other. So I'm going to do that very, very carefully. Woo! I'm wrapped. That's so good. Super good. Over the moon. Looks awesome. Awesome. So I think this is day 4 of actual building on this project, and I'm up to the final part for the doors. I've got 2 choices. I've got American oak plywood here and a different plywood here. I can't remember the name of what it is. This one's really nice and light and bright. That one looks really cool. And now I'm sort of in 2 minds about what I'm going to choose. So if you follow me on Insta, you'll see that I've put a poll out there. Whatever the poll says, that's what I'll do. The good thing is before I have to make that decision, I've got to prepare all this wood. So that's what I'm going to do now. These frames are really easy to make. It's just a simple tongue and groove joint. 2 cuts on the table saw for the rails and the stiles, and then the rails get their ends nibbled away on the chop saw as well. When all is said and done, you end up with this lovely looking connection. Next step, and one of the final real woodworky steps in this build, is cutting out the 2 plywood panels for the doors, and then it's pretty much built. My sheets are 600 wide, and the sheets that I need for the doors are about 298 mil. So I can cut one of these sheets right down the middle and I'll get both panels out of it, which is super exciting. I have very carefully lined this up so that I'm ripping it right down the center. Fingers crossed I don't stuff it up. The panel's supposed to be 1200. It's actually around about the 1205, 1206 mark, which means that if I cut this right in the center line, I'm going to end up with 2 panels of 600, and I need 2 panels of 600. So I'm going to use a quarter of the plywood that I bought for this cabinet. So look, obviously I'm no good at planning, but hey, now I've got lots of ply left over. It's completely unbelievable to me. It's like I've just found free wood. I'm going to have a sheet and a half left over. I'm very excited by this. They are exactly perfect. This is amazing. Awesome. Thank you, world. Yeah, this chapter of the story is tension, because all I can do now is stuff it up because it looks so good. So the only thing I can do is make it look bad. Fingers crossed. Now, if you haven't used it, spotted gum is awful for splintering. It is a super hard, dense wood and loves to crack and snap the heads off of your screws when you drive them in. To try and avoid that, I drilled each hole out and then I drove in a steel screw to cut the threads, and then finally I used the brass-coated screws to mount the hinges. I got the perfect fit for the doors on the very first attempt. Here we go. Crap. Okay. maybe it was actually the 4th attempt. Ta-da! All right, it's not finished yet, but it's up on the wall, the hinges are on, the doors are on, and it looks fantastic. This is the best part of the story. The princess has been rescued, the world has been saved, the universe has been put right, and now I'm feeling good because all I've got to do is put some finish on. And finish is pretty easy. I'm feeling really good. So that's my completed tool cabinet. I absolutely love it. I think it's the best thing I've built in a very long time, and I'm incredibly proud that I finished it off. I love it. Even when it's closed, it looks beautiful. I did add a dust cover here, which also kind of hides the gap that wasn't exactly perfect, but that's all right. But the beautiful thing is, I've already started putting tools in here, and I've got plenty of room to go. So this is what my weekend's gonna be, I think, just figuring out where everything goes. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Before we finish up, big thanks to everyone who joined in the Spring Shop Challenge. Really appreciate it. I think it was great fun. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the videos that come out over the next few weeks, and can't wait for the big prize draw. Now the big question, did showing all those little things that are going on in my mind actually help me? Absolutely. My name's Mario, and I'm a woodworker.